This is Justin AMZN on Monday, February 22nd, 2021. We gapped down a little further than I thought we would. I thought we'd open up around like 32.30, have a little bit of a rally up into the red line here, into the 21, and then roll over. So starting out down here, we had a similar move like back up, but it didn't quite get up to the 21, which is really what I was looking for it to do. I thought we'd touch it one more time. We were into it yesterday a few times. So this was kind of a pretty long stretch where we weren't actually getting back into the 21, but I kind of had a feeling it was going to actually get back into it today, and it did, and then rolled over again, and then pushed up through. And this looks like it's starting to reverse. You know, it looks like, oh, this could be a double bottom here, or this could be a double bottom, and you were making lower low, lower low, lower low. Oh, here's a higher low. Oh, it's reversing. You know, people are getting in, and you had a little bit of bullish volume, a little bit. You know, this wasn't too much, but it started to move, and it's like there's not very many bearish candles in here. This is actually a little bit indecisive on the bears until you get up here, and it's like, oh, it's taking out the high. This looks great, and then you get this bearish engulfing candle, and it just rolls back down to that previous kind of low. I really like the setup for a great reversal. On the call, it was actually looking like it was running back up into the same resistance here, this same price basically. So 979 was the high here, and 976 was the high here. That was on the candle, the bearish engulfing candle right here. And what's really nice about this, if you look at the put, it was starting to reverse here. And I'm sorry, this is the 3,300 call, 3,100 puts. I'm about 100 points away from this strike, the strike that we're kind of trading around here, 100 points in each direction. And so when this starts to reverse, bearish engulfing continues kind of sideways and then, you know, pulls back to the 21. All the while here, I mean, it's starting to move a little bit, but you could still get an order set up. I really liked the low it put in. It was just about the same close on the put as on Friday. So the close here was 880, and the low of this 5-minute candle was also 880. There were 18 contracts traded in this 5 minutes, so not huge volume, but decent enough. There weren't any single ticks. This was close. There was still 23 contracts there, but I like this price. I didn't like how this dropped a little bit further through that price earlier, but I had my eye on it ever since it did that. It's like, okay, if it can come down here again, it's a great place to get in. And I was just tied up during the day and didn't have my charts out again with other things going on today. And yeah, I wasn't getting in there, but you could have an even better entry if you waited a little bit longer. This goes sideways, it pulls back a little bit on the put, and you could have gotten in with my favorite 10 by 9. Nice round numbers, $100 risk, you know, buying for $1,000, stop at $900, and 3R would be $1,300, and it actually made it up to almost $1,400. So would have made it up here. That would have retraced a portion of the move that it made. Really nice rollover back down to this low. It was just overall a really nice move, and I kind of like the shape of the day. It was a little bit of a triangle, which you got some higher lows here. If you drew it like that, this looks like a breakout and a retest, and you want it to S-curve. Well, it didn't do that. Or if you draw it less sharp, then if I could draw it straight, maybe that kind of a triangle like that, and then that's more flat, or you know, maybe the triangle is bigger and it'll extend in tomorrow. So we'll see kind of what we're doing to interact with the 21 in here tomorrow, and see if we get a little more sideways, a little bit of rest. Most of today was I mean, it gapped down, but it didn't really move too much further down from where it was to start the day. I mean, it definitely moved down, you know. So this, I was looking for today's candle to look more like this one on the daily. I thought we would open up a little bit higher, 30. I thought we'd open around the same price here, like 32.30. This opened at 30, right at 32.30. So I was looking for an open right around here and a little bit of a wick up and then roll back down. And instead we opened down here, wicked up a little further, and then still came way further down. And I take that back. This is a bigger move. It didn't, I guess the way that I've got the 5 minutes set up, it didn't do it justice. Oh, because I've got this candle up here. Okay, let me just look at this. No, that doesn't do it. Can I do that? Something's not looking right today. It doesn't. It's a good move. I think it's because it's trying to keep the 21 on the screen, and I don't really want to do that right now. So let me see. I can't. I don't remember how to adjust it the way I wanted to to adjust it on here. To just zoom in on the day, and it's not working for me to highlight that way. Okay. I'm just trying to see this portion and not see the moving averages. I just want to see this. Okay. I don't remember how to translate it. I don't know if it's, oh, there we go. Hold down control and that let me zoom differently. Do control, nope. Was it shift? No, okay. I don't know what button I hit then. I'm holding control. Nope, that's not doing it. It just let me do it. Oh, there, no. Okay, it's not letting me zoom how I want to zoom. Anyway, I'm just trying to look at, just the day's range from here, from like here to here and see, how it just kind of went sideways and consolidated. So it had a bit of a move down here. That was really the big move of the day. And that you really could have played if you were trying to play the 3100 put. This range was just really, really large. And so you would have had to go further out. And so further out would mean like the 3050. I could type. Trouble drawing and typing today. And highlighting. There we go. So 3050, this had a better range, but it's a lot further away. Later in the day had some of these single wicks or single ticks that I don't like. But like getting in like 6x5, I guess that could have worked. And that went up to 9. So that would have worked. That would have been moving on its way back up. I'm gonna guess the 3075 doesn't have much volume. Yeah, that's really light volume, even down here. Yeah, I'm not crazy about that one. I just don't like that. And even the previous day, it was really light. So at least for, let's see, 3050, the previous day had a little bit more volume. Yeah, so this had a little more volume traded here on Friday. But the 3100, it's got a lot more going on Friday and today. And it really had a nice pullback. I mean, look at this. A little bit of a stair step here sideways. You pull all the way back into that same range. 9x8 wouldn't have worked because it would have been stopped out. Trying to get in for 9 on its way back up. Maybe you got filled, probably not. If you're going 10x9, maybe that would have worked. But these candles are just a little bit too big. What's nice though, this was a double bottom here. And then this technically is a double top. It looks funny this way. If we go all the way down to like a 1 minute, it should be a cleaner double top. So yeah, that's, there we go. Yeah, that's a double top right there. Right here, it's more of like a stair step. The whole thing is, all of this is more of like a stair step. But on a 1 minute, this definitely is a double top. And so those, right here is a double top there, and that represents 4 5-minute candles. So that was 20 minutes right here, going up, down. That's a double top, and then you have something similar here that kind of also looks like a double top. So if you go to a lower time frame, you can see the double top a little bit better. So double top on the stock, double top on the call, and then a little bit of a double bottom here on the put, but it was so quick and it didn't hold at the same price. The call actually did a really good job coming right back up to this $14 price. I wonder if like the 3350 call did something like that. That just went sideways. I mean, it had a $1 range, but not enough to really get in to something, or well, not to get in, but even to use this as a signal. I mean, that could still work. It still really is a double top. It just didn't go above the previous candles as much as I thought the 3350 did. I guess that only pushed up a little bit past. So this was a little bit of resistance, pushed back up through there, and then was holding that as resistance, then rolled back down. So again, I'm just trying to look for that kind of confluence. Like, what am I seeing that matches up? So double top here, and a quick one, more of like a stair-stepping double top. And then the stock, what's happening here as well. This was like a high wave candle breakout and then broke down. Candles weren't as clean in here either. I mean, I can see a morning server, so I can see high wave candles, but I'm not seeing, like, this was a really nice hammer right here. But to buy off of this, so this is 11:15 with a hammer. Let's go look back at the call. 11:15 with the hammer, it just went sideways for an hour and then pushed up a little bit. So if you had even just gotten in off of that candle, you're probably buying, like, you see it chopping around. It's like, oh, I can hold out for 750. You get in at 750 and you're just going to scalp out because it's not moving, or you're hoping it's going to keep going here and you're still in it, and then it comes down here and you probably have moved your stop up to like break even, so you're out at 750. Or maybe once it did this, you move your stop up to 8 and maybe you scalped a little bit. But yeah, it just didn't get going because that's counter trend, right? This move was counter trend with everything else coming down, and I was looking at, as this was going up, it's like, oh, this needs to roll over. You know, it doesn't have the momentum yet. We are getting closer to the bottom of the triangle. Let's switch over to the hourly. So yeah, we're further down obviously than this candle took us down with that gap here, but a little further and we're at the bottom of this triangle. And then it's really a question of, could we do any more? Could we go any further? Now, if we start to pull into the yellow line and start to bounce, I'm going to be looking for the same things that happened over here. I'm going to look for some bounces. I'm going to look for some hammers and some strong bounce candles. If it does start to bounce nicely, it should retest like this, and then maybe we'll get a gap up again. Who knows? But, you know, we've had some nice hammers right off of the yellow line here. That was not a hammer. But, so we'll see if we get something like that tomorrow, but let's really watch for a hammer or something to reverse. Don't just see the hammer and get in thinking, oh, it's going to close as a hammer. It might not. And this is the hourly, so it'll look different on the 5 minute. Probably a good idea to see what some different time frames look like. We've taken out this low, we could keep going. The next low area is really down in here, like around 3,100. That's if we don't really slow down much at this yellow line. Let's see. Beyond that, I mean, if we keep going, I mean, this red line, that could be support on our way down, but it's sloped. I mean, you've got some lows. There's a lot of lows in here. I would think it would pause at some of these and at least retest. I could see us going further, pushing down to 3,100, going back up to 3,200, and then rolling over again. I could see that. It's a possibility. I mean, anything is a possibility, right? If we get so low into the 2000s again, if we take out like this 2888 or basically 2900, if we come down to 2900, that's a great place to be buying. And then if we break that, I'll have to look back down a little further to see where some of these other supports may be. But let's see what we're doing up here first. You know, we're still we're still making higher lows. You know, this was just kind of a false breakout, making a little bit of a lower high, but not fitting with the triangle. So that, you know, the fact that we're back down here again, let's see how well this holds, and then we may need to see if we need to readjust a triangle, because the top side didn't really, I mean, it didn't work through here. Oh wow, that looks like a head and shoulders. Do you see that? I'm gonna go up to a 4 hour, see if that cleans it up anymore. Yeah, it's kind of there. Okay. It just kind of jumped out at me when I did that. Oops. So shoulder, head, shoulder. And you could either kind of draw a neckline with the 3250 price, or you could do like this kind of a neckline like this. Either way, I would expect that. I seeing this as a head and shoulders here, the measured move would be from the head to the neck like this. So that's, let's call it 3400 to 3250, just to be rough about it and to, not give it all the way up to this part. I mean, this would be like 3440. It'd be like a 200 point, 150 to 200 point move further down would put us at, around 3100 for that measured move. So it could do this down to the yellow line, come back up, and then go back down like this. And that's kind of that either holding this or going straight down and coming back up. Like those are kind of more possible now if that's a head and shoulders. Yeah, that's interesting. I'm going to keep my eye on that too. I've had a lot of bearish candles in a row now. A lot of big moving bearish candles in a row. We also had some really nice bullish moving candles in a row, like some big ones here that got us really through this whole zone in like 2 candles. So it's okay to have a bit of a rest and a pullback. Now we've done this with like 5 candles. So I want to see a little bit of bullishness come in if we're going to break down, and then see if we hold or continue lower. It'd just be nice to have a little bit more rest. This could rest for a little bit longer. It could rest for a couple days in here. Could rest till the end of February. And then I think we all remember how March was for last year. All of this breakdown. Hopefully we don't have a huge sell-off kind of March again. I guess it was starting towards the end of February last year. We did this, and then we got to a low, and that was like mid-March, and then we started to recover, and then it's been so strong since then. So just keep in mind where we've been. We were, this same date a year ago was 220, oh, it's a Saturday. 222 was a Saturday. So 221, the price, the close that day was 2100. So, we're still way up from that. So if you bought shares down here and you're still in them, good job. That's way to hold. That's amazing. So we'll just see what kind of moves we can have from here now. Anyway, yeah, that's an interesting head and shoulders. Kind of just jumped out like that. We didn't have a real clean, we had some like double tops up here. We had a bit of a head and shoulder, like this is kind of a rolling shoulder and then a head and then kind of another shoulder. It's not as clean. This was a head and shoulders here. So we know it works, and this just went down. This didn't even retest like a neckline here. Actually, that was a little high for a shoulder. I'm just seeing head and shoulders everywhere. There's a shoulder and a head and a shoulder. There's a shoulder and a head and a shoulder that didn't really work here. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see how this plays out. Yeah, this one definitely looks like head and shoulder. I like that. We'll see. Hope this helps. This is Justin AMZN. Thanks.